Okay, we're live.
Thank you so much. And again, welcome everyone to our Parks and Playground Committee meeting here Friday, December 11th, 2020. At 10 a.m., I'll start with the roll call. We have Valencia Noel, our head clerk, myself, Samantha Turner, for Third Ward City Councilwoman, Don Turnage, Parks and Recreation Director, Dana Lance, Law Department, Lola Lewis, Lauren McNally, Councilwoman Eric Holmes, Crandall Park South, David Colbert, Assistant in Parks Department, Hunter Morrison. I cannot call your title right off the top of my head. I'm so sorry, Mr. Morrison. Julius Oliver, First Ward City Councilman, Jonathan Blackshire, Wick Park Neighbors, Jennifer Ozinger, Assistant Clerk. Rick Deek is with our IT department, Basha Adamzat, Councilwoman, and Anita Davis, Councilwoman, also committee member. Anyone that I miss? No one in the waiting room? Okay, so we will go ahead and get started. Everyone should have everything shifted for a moment. No new members. Okay, so everyone should have a agenda in front of them. And first, we'll start with our unfinished business, and that is the Park Commission / Tree Commission language. Cityscape has joined the meeting. So again, we'll start with that information just to get an overview from our previous meeting. We talked about bringing back the tree commission that has not met since August of 2013. So back in the late 60s, the city council adopted an ordinance describing conditions under which trees and shrubs may be removed, trimmed, and planted here in the city. And back in 98, the commission was established and it was updated up until 2013. And since then, nothing much has happened. So we need to develop a comprehensive tree management strategy, and that is what that's what the commission is planning to do. This ordinance will help establish procedures and policies to regulate what really needs to be done to preserve our urban forest and everything around that, because we have so many great local parks in our city, and we really want to preserve that legacy and make sure that we are taking care of them properly. So I'm going to pan to Miss Lola Simmons to give us a little update on the work of the committee and where we are with that language and information. Lola?
Saying Lola,
I'm sorry, that's Lola Lewis.
Lola, yes,
Yes.
Lola Lewis. I'm sorry, I keep saying Simmons. I'm sorry, Lola Lewis.
You just keep trying to rename me, girl. What's up with that? Okay, so far we have been meeting at least once a month to start looking at the language that's going to be in there, and we're collaborating with different entities with the HCP committee, a subcommittee under Park and Recreation. Park and Green Space and stuff. So we've formatted a layout for you all to take a look at and to kind of review. And we're going through some of the stages of how it should be structured as a recommendation. Once we get our recommendation completed, then we need to pass it off to the folks who need to review it to make sure that we're touching all the bases, or if you have any questions for some of the things that we have put in it. It's a process that takes place. Initially, you have to have the groundwork, the layout, and all those different things, which we are doing. And hopefully it'll be complete enough for you all to take a look at and add your input and feedback. Dawn, is there anything you want to add? Because you've been a part of the committee as well.
I do believe that it is definitely going in the right direction. This comprehensive plan that we are putting in place will also help in delegating the opportunity for us to foster a rich community that we do have, but also to make sure that we have in place any regulations or that will also support our local and our urban urban forestry programs and management of any resources, or even the outsourcing or outlooking of any trainings that could also take place. That's all I would like to add. Now I can't wait to be able to present that to everyone for review.
Great. Thank you very much. And for the record, I like to also add Valerie from Love Thy Neighbor Block Watch has joined us. Is there any questions about the information regarding the tree commission from my colleagues or anyone in the meeting? Great. So we will continue to work on that.
Excuse me.
Madam Chair,
go ahead.
Councilwoman McNally has a question, I believe.
I'm sorry. Did the mayor create a park commission, or did he create a tree commission? I'm a little bit confused, as this is the first time I'm hearing about this committee. Can I get filled in?
So there already is a tree commission on the books. It just has not, they just have not met since 2013. There is a subcommittee, Healthy Community Partnerships in Parks and Rec, that's helping revitalize that language and review the language.
So there's a subcommittee sitting inside Dawn's department, Dawn, and you
I am.
and the mayor put the people together for it. How many people are on it? Can you tell me a little bit about it? Are you in charge of it?
Madam Chair, no, Healthy Community Partnership, I am part of that steering committee as well as other members throughout the community. And while on that steering committee, it is breaking down, it is broken into different subcommittees. Myself, I sit on the subcommittee for Parks and Green Space. This is not something that is actually through the city as far as the mayor putting it on. It is a community organization that supports the city. And
Gotcha. Thank
was
you.
invited to sit with that committee.
Okay, now I understand. I am familiar with that.
Yes.
I was a little bit confused with how we started
Yeah,
out.
yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that clarification. And they're funded through the Community Foundation. So thank you so much to all those that sit on that committee. And we're working through the language of the tree commission that we already have a part of our city charter. With that, I'm going to move into the Friends of the Park. So today I have another person that's in the waiting room. Did they come in? Oh, Mike Ray is joining us for the, just for the record, Councilman Mike Ray. So for the Friends of the Park, right now, all of you Block Watch captains that have joined us today, Sharon Letson and Healthy Community Partnerships, you guys are all really functioning as friends of our parks right now with the work that you do in your local communities, whether it's putting up decorations at your pocket parks, doing cleanups, having the Easter egg hunt. That's all functioning as a Friends of the Park. And what a goal of our city is to make this structure a little stronger, to provide more support and make the work that we do further reaching across the entire city. And I want to, for example, the work at our pocket parks over on the north side, Crandall Park South, they cut the grass, they do the decorations each year, and that really helps and enhances the neighborhood. The work that Cityscape does over at Wick Park with the flowers and helping keeping that clean, that helps and enhances the neighborhood. And all those things help our parks department stay strong and move forward. So everyone is functioning as friends. So we want to take that structure and make it very, very strong and sound so it can withstand the test of time, but also be further reaching across the entire city from corner to corner. So Don would like to introduce Friends of the Park System and how we can do that and where we're going with that language. Don?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. So with Friends of the Park, the vision of Friends of the Park would just be that to continue on what you already have been doing as friends, but also put in their language, whereas there's a park planning that is also developed, as well as a strong lasting relationship with our community members that would have guidelines. Those guidelines would come from the Parks and Rec Department underneath and, approved by the subcommittee also, but it would be serving more as a weekly wellness checks that the Friends of the Parks would actually we'd be able to do. And part of that vision too that we are looking into is comparing it to Sandusky has a Friends of the Park vision. And what happens is we do continue to provide like for example, a cleanup, we would continue to provide the support for that, like we already do, like if you need the Ruby trailer, for example, and things like that. But it does speak volumes to the community when it is something that has a vision and goal that is written down with a plan. So again, we want to create this all together in order to do that. And then from there, if you are out there and we have a rotation of different parts of the park in which the friends are responsible for, we would have a better communication access to knowing what is going on and what is needed, and continue to rely on our friends of the park who are already serving in that role per se, but to actually have something that is tangible and written, but also can be measurable too, as we continue to work together.
Great, thank you, Dawn. Is there any questions from the committee or from the meeting? Lauren?
So Dawn, are you creating, are you and this team creating like a holistic long-term plan for all of our parks, or are you focused in one specific area? I'm hearing a lot of talk about the downtown and north side kind of this morning, or is it an immediate thing and everyone's going to have a role to play in it? Is there funding from the city that's needed here for any part of it?
Eventually we will. For the Friends of the Park, we're definitely in the planning stages of it. We wanted to first focus on the tree commission, but wanted to introduce it today to everyone here, that it will definitely be an all throughout the city Friends of the Park plan. And that language of what that plan looks like will also identify what roles everyone would play on different sides of, in different wards. And those, we would ask for those that are already actively doing things in the parks when it comes to cleanups, for example, and programming, that they assist us when we get to that point of what that should look like before presenting it to the council and the mayor for review. So just introducing it today as an option to let you know that I do believe, and we'll be able to sit down and see how that will work. But it's right now is simply a visionary plan that does need to be put in place.
Any other questions? Okay, great. So with the Friends of the Park, like I said, we have a lot of Block Watch captains here today. And of course, we have Sharon Letton with Cityscape as well. You guys are already functioning as friends. You are already functioning as groups that are helping our communities stay strong, no matter what side of town you're on. And we just want to, one, let you know that we're here to support all of those efforts that you're already doing, but we want to make this, all that good work, we want to make sure that you know that we're here to support you and continue to move it across the city. So if you can and would like to be involved in that conversation on how we do that, please reach out to Dawn or to myself, and we can continue to move this initiative forward. Just trying to affect more change across the city, and to do that in small groups, because that's really who is really moving this effort forward. One group at a time, things get done. One event at a time, and one cleanup at a time, things get done in the city. So I really commend you, Dawn, for trying to pull us all together to make a collective push. With that, I'm going to turn it back over to Dawn to give us the 2020 review and 2021 update from the Parks Department.
Okay, thank you. So for a 2020 review, as you all know, Parks and Rec, we had to definitely think outside of the box with COVID-19. We're not able to do many of, or in almost of anything, but I do know that I'm proud to say that what we did do when it came, for example, to one of our largest programs, which is our summer camp, we were able to at least service a small amount of children that we were used to, but we definitely still made a difference. And with that, individuals like yourself through our community, which we can, continue to relate to as our friends, you too expanded upon that and continue to, serve our park system, kids who were coming through camp. So we were able to provide 8 weeks of camp for 48 students, 48 of our youth in the community. Activities when it came to education, we brought activities to them. I'm proud to happy to say that none of our counselors or our camp staff or even our children were positive or had any incidents to whereas COVID had affected them. Our programming continued on throughout the 8 weeks period. And we are still looking forward to, if we have to think outside the box again, to remain on that structure. Unfortunately, we were not able to have any of our park locations have any rentals. So when it came to renting any of our pavilions or doing any major cleanup projects, we were unable to do that. However, what we were able to do is go in and do deep cleanings of all of our facilities. And we were able to purchase, in the making of purchasing round tables in which CDC does recommend that when we do start having and opening up for reservations, that we have the round tables and they're set apart per se with the guidelines that majority of everyone may be already aware of. So we're looking forward to that. That was one thing that happened here in 2020. And we've been able to also, for a minute there was, no one was taking applications for grant opportunities or anything to do with programming. So, but we are ready to do our history to see exactly what we do need to do and what changes needs to be made. So we are still actively doing that and working strong to make sure that we go back to basics, go back to the books of what needs to happen. And I will say, and also in 2020, we still were able to have some of our programming through our community. You all appreciate you opening up the parks for drive-through giveaways, and taking advantage of that was definitely a positive and a help to our community. And we're going to be ending the year too, not only with the amount of work that we've done through Healthy Community Partnership support with the Park Commission language and everything. We're also going to end the year on a happy note too, knowing that we'll be able to provide a alternative plan to our Breakfast with Santa. So we again will be servicing 40 families, 101 children with a breakfast that we will deliver to them. So again, providing an opportunity outside the box to our families. Now, and going forward, some of the highlights for 2020, there's a few that I definitely want to share. One being, everyone was maybe familiar with the fire station that's where we house our summer camp office out, but also we were sharing that space with Taft Promise Neighborhood, which became Youngstown Promise Neighborhood. And with that office space in Youngstown Promise Neighborhood unfolding due to lack of funding, we did not want to lose the dream or desire to continue to serve in the community. So Taft Promise Neighborhood, being that they were already in the building with us and sharing this space, have left all of their materials there. And when it comes to a copier and a couple of computers and desks and tangible items that they use in order to have meetings or have any events there, they've left that to us as a donation and a thank you, as for us to also introduce So with that, we took the Parks Department, we took that, and we will be introducing what we're going to call a community resource center. We will change that side of the room into a place where, when we're able to meet, under COVID guidelines for all of across the city, our community groups, our block watch groups, to come there and meet. If you like to make copies, or if you need internet service and you want to bring in your laptops or use the tool that we already have up there, we will put in place community resource centers from across the town. If you're on the north side, it doesn't matter. So you would still come through us, but it will be free of charge, and you can utilize that space. They've left, we will do an inventory, but there's copy paper already there, and we'll come up with a plan as to what that also will look like. And then I think that'll be great for our community too, and then a repurposing of that location. We also are in the process of revisiting our 2013 Parks Plan, and redoing that plan will also include some recommendations. So there's really no need to recreate the wheel. We'll just take what we have, which is that 2013 plan, and continue from there, but also provide recommendations for that. If anyone needs to see that plan or would like that plan, please let me know so you too can review it. Because again, we'll come back and so we can all revisit that plan together and see what we can do together with that, with the assistance of the GIS program at YSU. And then stay tuned also for 2021, the new hours and programs at the Recreation Center. As if you don't know, we do have a commercial stove and hood that was coming. So when we're able to do our programming classes there, we definitely want to make use and utilize that service of the cafe area, but also the building overall, which is not used, at heavily. We still have Mercy Health, who does their workout class. Right now, we only take 10, and spread out, but that still is in place. So we will also be adding some Saturday and weekend hours, and our goal for that will continue on from there to possibly even have a rec league. And again, these are all just visions and values that we have in mind for the rec center for 2021. We are 5 Angels Park. We are still, that with COVID, things kind of slowed down, but we are still in the process of developing a plan with 5 Angels Park and working with Councilwoman Anita Davis. She and I have been to the location and reviewing, and also actually met with some stakeholders who are interested and continue to look for funding there, as well as with funding to all of our parks that definitely need assistance in a touch up of restructuring and new equipment and things like that, which will be all part of our goal too, in working with YSU and as well as our community partners for grants and opportunities. So looking forward for that to continue in 2021 as well. And we will, and lastly, but not least, I wanted to also announce that our OPRA, which is Ohio Parks and Recreation Association, their conference is in April. If we are, able to go face to face, the president of the OPRA of Northeast Ohio has selected 2 youth from the city of Youngstown as our outstanding youth of the year. So that is a great plus, and actually a much needed award that should be commended for the 2 youth of Youngstown, which has never happened. So we beat out, not that the youth wasn't doing great, but we beat out Cleveland and some of our larger cities, in Cincinnati and Columbus, for 2 youth from the Youngstown area, Youngstown City School System. To get that award is definitely a plus based on the community service that they have done, the leadership that they have also done in our community, and they're also part of the Lifeguard Academy, in which prior to COVID, they were on the route to earning their lifeguard certification. So wanted to also, make that announcement. And so I won't, belabor everyone. And those were some of the major key points that I wanted to touch base, let you know that we are still here and we're still working diligently to service the community with the assistance of our community leaders and organizations such as yourself.
Thank you, Dawn, for that robust update for 2020 and positive outlook for 2021. Are there any questions from the floor or from the committee? Okay. All right, so I'm just going to go over and recap what we have here and what our next steps and action items are. First, starting from the top, under unfinished business, we are going to, for the record, change that language. It says Park Commission language, but it's actually the Tree Commission language. And that language, we're working through the language that we have and updates and changes to that with the healthy community partnerships. Once we have a good framework, we'll be getting that over to Dana to help us to make sure that we are all in line. So that work will continue on for our next meeting. The Friends of the Park, again, we have a good amount of block watch captains here. We plan to invite more in, as well as community groups in, to help develop that strategic vision for the city, but our main goal is to continue to support the work that you already do in the city. Next, under new business, Dawn gave us the update for what has gone on through 2020 and what our plans are for 2021. We will continue to support those efforts and work through anything that we need to move our parks and green spaces forward. Again, with Healthy Community Partnerships, one of the main things they are doing is helping us work through the language and the reinstitution of the Tree Commission. And with our Community Resource Center, it currently on the agenda, it's listed as Block Watch Resource Center, but it is formerly the Community Resource Center. Dawn, can you give us the address of that?
I don't have it with me. The old fire station on South Avenue. I can look it up right quick.
Okay. Yeah, we can get that out to everyone as more information comes available and as the place begins to be set up. But that resource center, again, is to support the work that our community block watch groups already do, and so that you know that we're here for you and we understand all of your hard work and dedication. Next on the agenda is to set up our next meeting. So our goal is to meet more frequently. We want to begin to move these initiatives forward in a steady manner and engage in a steady manner. So our next meeting is tentatively scheduled for the 4th Thursday of January, which is January 28th, 2021. That's just tentatively scheduled. Just pencil that in. Closer to that date, if all things go well, you'll get a notice from our clerk and then we will move forward. We do again ask you to reach out to myself, reach out to Dawn, if you would like to help in the development of any of these initiatives, whether it be something that you heard from 2021 that's coming up, or the Friends of the Park, or the Tree Commission, any expertise that you can provide just by being actively involved in your community or actively involved just in the city in general, please help provide your expertise or knowledge you may have. Another big thing that's happening again is the update of this plan from 2013. A lot of things happened in 2013 and we're looking to revitalize that plan. So please, if you can and you need a copy, let us know. We can email you a copy. It's quite a very interesting report to read and to see where we're going. So revitalizing that vision and actually putting the work behind it, I think is going to show what we can do as a city and as a community.
Excuse me, Chairwoman. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
because I'm not on camera. I just wanted to share that address is 3025 South Avenue.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we will get you a copy.
Through the chair.
Yes, Anita.
Yes, has all the council been sent a copy of that?
I'll get you a copy sent of the.
What I'm suggesting is that all of council be sent a copy. I mean, no, not just me.
Yes. You
Okay.
want the 2013 report?
I have that report, plus I have another report. I'd have to dig it out, but there was something that was supplemental to that came up after that too. Now I'll dig it out.
I'll make sure you get all of the reports, everyone on council. Is there anything for the good of the order? Then with that,
I have
yes,
a quick question. The tree commission, does it meet regularly, or what's the breakdown of that, or how's it operating?
Well, there's technically no active tree commission at all. We have been meeting regularly through Healthy Community Partnership to revitalize the language once a month.
And our next meeting date, I believe, is January the 14th.
January 14th, yes.
And when you say revitalize the language, are you saying revitalize the language of our
Inactive tree commission that we've all
inactive tree commission?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
With the goal of bringing it back up and running.
Yes.
Okay. Do we have to, since I think it was mentioned, this might be a question for the law department if Dana's still here. Do we, in order to bring up because it's a subcommittee, I thought you guys called it, do we have to resurrect the actual park commission first?
The subcommittee is that of Healthy Community Partnership, which is just a group of individuals who have been rewriting or reintroducing what that language should look like in order to present it to our law department for review.
So the tree commission is not something that's spelled out within our city charter. This is something that was created through the community group?
No, the tree commission was part of our city charter, but it has been inactive for quite some time. With the assistance of Healthy Community Partnership as just a community helping us, they have a subcommittee. The partnership has a subcommittee in which the members of that would be myself and Lola, and we have been together taking that inactive language commission information that we used to have, and trying to recreate and repurpose what that should look like to introduce it to the law department for review, and then the steps going forward to get it to the point of it's an active language that takes the place of what has been inactive.
So the tree commission is its own standing commission within our charter. It doesn't live underneath the parks commission. Then.
That was my question.
No, that's right.
Dana shaking her hand or her head.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Oh.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
Dana?
If I may, I believe that Councilwoman Turner said that the tree commission was created by ordinance in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have to review that to see if that was actually part of the park commission or if it was a standalone separate from the park commission. So that's what we'll look at and go from there to address both Lauren's concerns and the goals of the park department.
Thank you, Dana. Councilwoman Davis? Yes.
Well, yeah, well, actually, Dana, through the chair, Dana did just address what I was going to bring up, which is I wanted clarification from the law department that the tree commission was indeed a part of the city charter, and that it was a part of the city charter as a standalone versus being a part of an ordinance created by council that we can create or uncreate. I just wanted to get absolute clarification because since we no longer have a commission, I want to make sure that this has been done correctly, because it was my understanding that it was not a standalone. But I would like to have that from the law department, the clarification, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I just want to add that to the action items. So just action items going forward is that we're requesting that the law department review the ordinance from, I believe, 67 and 69 in regards to the tree commission / park commission and how that is laid out. If you can provide that information. Yes, Councilman Davis?
You see, I keep getting confused because you keep saying ordinance and then you're saying charter, but if it's,
So
Is-
it was a Youngstown tree ordinance in 69 and
Ordinance.
67. Yes. So in 67, there was a park commission established in 67. A tree ordinance came about in 69. So what I'm just going to ask is that the law department clarify the layout of how it looks in relation to law in the city.
Okay. And through the chair, I would just like to have it just email us and give us the thing instead of waiting for a month. I just to send an email and let us know what's going on. Thank you.
Perfect. So with that, that's the first action item. We'll continue to work through the language though, how that works in relation to developing that tree commission. So everybody's wheels are still moving in the forward motion. Also, another action item is for Dawn and the department to continue to work on the strategic plan for the Friends of the Park. We'll have more information about that and how that's going within inside of that month's time as well. Do we have any questions or anything else we would like to address or add to our action item list?
I just had a suggestion, if that's okay.
Yes.
So in regards to the tree commission, I understand that's still very preliminary. We basically have a separate committee that's reviewing the language, and that's going to be part of the process of reforming this commission, if I understand it correctly. So my only suggestion is hopefully that folks are looking towards organizations like Trees Please, who are already doing work like that in the area, to at least once the language is complete, to maybe include them as part of the commission or part of the process.
Mommy,
I believe we are. Yes, you can. We are already looking into the work that Trees Please does and looking at, of course, the information that was presented in the tree. I believe YNDC did a tree survey. So yes, all of that, all of the information that we have in all of the community groups, all the community groups, we're all pulling all that information.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, if we can, just for you to know too, Mr. Blackshire, Ms. Lola Lewis, she is with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, and we're lucky to have her right here with us. This is part of her region, and she is part of the subcommittee also, and actually the chair of the subcommittee, leading the way in redoing the information we would like to share for a Trees Commission.
Great.
Great. And I think that other research you were talking about, Anita, was the tree outlook. I do believe that study was done by YNDC, the tree survey. Yes. And that's another supplemental piece that that they did for across the city as well. Was there another thing you wanted to add, Councilman Davis?
Through the chair, only yes, through the chair, but this is for Dawn when she addresses mentions the subcommittee, which she's clarified that it's not a city council subcommittee, but a subcommittee of the Healthy Partnership.
Healthy Community Partnership, yes.
Yes, because when people catch it in the middle, chair, they'll think that it's a subcommittee of council, and I don't want them to have any kind of misinformation or a misunderstanding that this is not that it's a subcommittee of council or government, that it's a private entity.
Yes, yes, I will definitely do that. And thank you for that clarification, which is also, which I'm excited to know that going forward, the more meetings we do have, the better understanding that we'll have of what role everyone plays and the connections and the community that we are sharing with others. Thank you. I think Councilwoman
Thank you. I just a question also as another supplemental piece. Are you guys in possession of, I believe it was actually a tree maintenance program that was presented to City Council a couple years ago, and I think it was well, Bob Burke presented it to us, but I think Davy Tree put it together. It was quite expansive and actually only focused, I think, in Crandall Park, but
Yes.
make sure you guys have that.
Well, one was Wick Park too.
It was Wick Park too.
Yeah.
Okay, so you
Yes, through
guys
the
know
chair.
of it. And
Yes,
have
we
it.
do. We do have that, and that is 2 items that we've been using through our study of recreating what's in place. We've been using that as a resource.
Okay. And is there just as a second question real quick, has there been any discussions about bringing back the park commission itself?
Well, that's what we are putting together now and bringing back that park commission, but underneath a language that fits to where we are at now as a city and as a department.
So you're talking about I thought we were just focused on a trees commission.
Well, inside of that tree
Oh.
commission is that particular, like particular talks about just bring it all together to have one, and what the roles would be, and who would everybody identify who would do what and what needs to be done. So it's a pretty lengthy document. We're trying to just take what we already had and submit something to have just be one, but underneath the parks, underneath the parks department, to include the tree commission, and then maybe not even calling it that per se, but it definitely includes that, what we used to have.
Okay, yeah, maybe I'll just offline with the law department to clarify a little better with you, Dawn, because I think I'm still a little bit confused in terms of the Parks Commission versus the Tree Commission, and then what your goal is, because I think we'll have to do some charter changes if we're talking about the Park Commission.
Eventually, yeah, that would be the goal. Yes, Councilman McNally, instead of having 2 separate, we would like to present, once this document is all done, what that can look like was just introducing a change of the language to include everything as one nutshell per se.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Dana.
If I can, through the chair, the Park Commission operated as an autonomous entity separate from the administration. So that's what was abolished in 2013. So the park department was basically, well funded by the city, was operated by that commission, and they worked in lieu of council and the mayor, except for expenditures. So is that what we're looking at reestablishing? I'm a bit unclear as to how you want me to research and present this.
We're not looking to reestablish that, but we wanted to take some of the things that they did do, as well as taking a tree commission per se of what their roles would do, and just combine it to one body, one language, to include that was abolished, the things that they used to do. And the direction going forward, though, would include a tree commission inside of there. We haven't named or anything, but it also will be just one entity. That's what we would like to do. Present.
So just for a clarification, Dana, we are not looking to bring back the Parks Commission. We're looking to review that language. And inside of that, there was a tree commission. We want to review that language to see how it can best fit our current model and how we currently do things. The tree commission and that information is how we can best take care of course, our urban forest. So we're pulling through all of that information, combing over that information and seeing what we can pull out to reestablish just the commission to handle the urban forest. And that is what exists in our current parks, on our devil strips, and across the city. So not bringing back that separate entity to manage the parks the parks. We just want to see what small part of that we can use to help us move forward. So we can talk a little bit more offline about the ordinances from the late 60s and how, and I actually asked councilwoman, our clerk to present to me or let me know the council that was there when they ended in 2013 when they ended the park commission, and kind of what was the rationale behind it, and wanting to understand the historical knowledge of where their goal was, where they wanted to go. So our goal is we just don't want to leave any stone unturned. So I'm sure there's a lot of information in the park commission language that can help us, and even some best practices that we might be missing out on. So we're reviewing all of that information. Go ahead, Dana.
Just as a resource, yeah.
Through the chair, I can tell you that in 2013, that charter amendment was proposed by the administration. It was Mayor Williams at the time, and it was so that the park would operate as a standard department within the city structure rather than a commission and a body that caused any work to happen. So that allowed the administration to put together plans, because if the commission was made up of community members and not necessarily experts, although there had been quite a few that in my experience when I represented the park commission that were very involved for many years in establishing things, but it was meant to streamline the administration of the city rather than having another body dictating what happened in the city. The park commission was originally established when the schools and the parks were basically partners of a sort, because a lot of parks were next to schools, and so it gave representation from the school board on the commission so that there was a cohesive recommendation. Now that a lot of that has changed, the purpose of that wasn't as necessary. So that was some of the rationale behind that.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. Thank you for that historical basis. I really appreciate that. Dawn, did you have something else you wanted to add?
No, just one thing. Yeah, and that's exactly, we appreciate that we have been using just as a guide, a resource, that and the TV tree study and then the 2013 plan. We needed to have something to go to. So those have been really just our study guides in order to create something new without recreating the whole wheel. So thank you.
Great. Okay, with that, I think we've covered everything here, and we have our action items. The tentative meeting again is scheduled for January 28th of 2021. If you would like to participate in any way, please let myself or Dawn know. And if we have no more questions from the floor, I would entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Anita Davis moved to adjourn the meeting today at 10:49, and Lauren McNally has seconded that. With that, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. We will see you again in January. Have a happy holiday, and remember to stay safe.
Happy holidays.